A lot of times when I go into the backcountry backpacking, I like to have more than one lighting option with me. I will always take a headlamp with me, but I also like to take lanterns with me because I enjoy having a little bit of extra light, more kind of a broad ambient type light within my tent or around my camp, especially if I'm trying to cook. It just makes things a little bit easier, but taking this, like the Goal Zero Lighthouse Mini, is not always the best option because of weight and space that this takes up. So what we've got today that I'm going to show you is the brand new Goal Zero Lighthouse Micro Flash. Now this is one of two options that they make. They have the flash option and then there is the non-flash, meaning that on this one for $25 you get a flashlight on the top of the lantern, where at the $19 option it is just the Lighthouse Micro. So that is the difference between this and what other option is available for the Lighthouse Micro, but you're looking at this compared to a AA battery. Very small, very lightweight. This particular lantern only weighs 2.4 ounces, so it's a really lightweight lantern, but what is even more cool about it is this is a 120 lumen flashlight and 150 lumen lantern, 2.4 ounces, that is USB rechargeable. So this can be recharged on any USB rechargeable solar device like the Goal Zero Nomad 7 or any of the Nomad solar panels, but this will charge pretty dang quick, and the lifespan of the battery is a maximum of 170 hours or a minimum of 7 hours. So on your highest output, this thing will still last for 7 hours, which I really like having the highest output. A lot of the times when I am using my flashlights and such, I just enjoy having the extra light. And knowing that with the ability to charge this with a USB charger in the backcountry, I don't have to worry about batteries or other things making this weigh more than it needs to. So let's talk about the features of it. First, I want to talk about the two things that I don't necessarily like about it. The first is that the hanger requires an additional carabiner or something to attach it to a line or inside of your tent, and it's not easily removed. And if you have the carabiner on there, you can't click that down all the way. So that is really a nitpicky, kind of a really small, simple thing to be a negative, but it's just something that is to consider and think about. The other is the button to turn on the lantern is really small. It's hard to just push with the pad of your finger. You actually have to like almost dig in with your nail, and I don't love that, because if this is hanging in my tent and I want to be able to click this really easy, it's a little bit more difficult and it's harder to find because it is not really very prominent of a button. But again, not a huge deal. So let's talk about the modes. You've got 3 different modes. All of these modes are dimmable. So if I push and hold the power button, this will dim the flashlight, and it will always start on the flashlight, so that's 120 lumens. And if I push and hold, then it's going to dim and be a lot lower light. If I push the button again, then I'm going to get all 4 LEDs around the lantern to turn on at the full 150 lumens. I like this because it's a good ambient broad light that really gives a lantern type feel. It's very bright. I'd had this hanging in hammock, I've had it hanging in tent, like really impressed with how powerful those LEDs are. Again, if I push and hold the button, it will dim. And then if I push the button again, it's going to turn off 2 of them and do kind of a half lantern or just 2 LEDs. And I don't know the exact lumens of this power, but it's just less light and less blinding if you're concerned about that. And again, if I push and hold, then that will dim those LEDs to a really low power. and that will run for a really long time. So that's pretty cool. On the top here, sorry to blind you, on the top here you have a battery indicator, so 25% for each of those lights. And then this again lasts for a really long time. Honestly guys, I am really impressed with this little lantern. Goal Zero is always coming out with things that are kind of innovative and just make sense for the backcountry. And having a lantern like this is something that like I probably will take with me every time because it's so light, it's so convenient, and it's so easy to use, and it adds a lot to your backpacking setup. So there it is, the Goal Zero Lighthouse Micro Flash. This one's $25. You can get the Lighthouse Micro that does not have the flashlight on the top for $20. Same features minus the flashlight on the top. So really cool. I'm really happy with this. So check it out in the description down below for a link to be able to purchase it. Thanks for watching guys. Please subscribe to the channel if you haven't. Hope you have an awesome day.